guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, hello, my name is Kim and I go by Kimberkiss here on YouTube. So I'm gonna get out a couple decks here. This is crazy, you guys. Okay, so Deep Knowing just popped out from Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed and Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle by Shirley Youngbach Rose. We received this card, Climb the Spiral Ladder, One Step at a Time. I just filmed a video literally talking about climbing the ladder, facing the shadow recognizing the higher light aspect in and of itself, and that I was always missing out on that. I feel like we are tapping into these deep knowings about ourselves, about the universe. We have the owl here, and I also noticed on the front of the box we have the scales, which I was just talking about balancing the scales, and we also have the owl. And if you think about the Hydra constellation is coming through again, the head at the top is the most knowledgeable because why? It is immortal. Therefore, it does not doubt itself. It does not dismiss itself. It does not decease itself. It keeps coexisting. It keeps residing at that higher pinnacle, the top of the triangle frequency. So climbing the ladder. There's an owl in this too. Do you guys, okay. There's a lot coming through today. Lots of downloads from constellations coming in, all constellations, and they want you, I think I said this in a previous video, I forget which one it was, but they really want you to tap in to your deeper knowing, to your own consciousness, and then emanate it out to the stars and just see what you're picking up from each constellation, because there's certain ones wanting to get your attention and there's certain ones wanting to communicate. I cannot kid you. She literally has an owl on her arm. And this is a new doors opening, step over the threshold. This is like a new phase, a new awareness, a new consciousness that I think has been integrated just a couple days ago, because I feel like this full moon, is it in Aries? I think it's full moon in Aries, which is a fire sign. My rising sign is Sag, so I do hold like fire, but my daughter is Aries. She's on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. So it's really interesting. This portal, this new moon portal, that's not new moon, it's a full moon. This full moon portal is almost bringing new moon energies. It's like opening a whole new portal, a whole new access way, a whole new way of perceiving, a whole new way of ascending our consciousness and perceiving like the bird's eye view, like the owl's view of the bigger picture, the bigger perspective, as if we took on that consciousness and now it's integrated into us. And yes, this is interesting. This is really interesting, you guys. Like these cards that are coming out, like what, this is going to be a cool reading. We have Journey to the Halls of Osiris. Osiris came through so strongly, like I think like last month, and it's interesting. But this says return from the underworld, engage life. I feel like we're returning from lower frequency perspectives and shadow perspectives, and now we're integrating like our higher lights, our higher life, coming to life, engaging more in life, being more present in the now moment, and also traversing across the universe, because as we have here, we also have explore other realms. So I feel like spirit is, and again, we have the bird's eye view perspective here. I feel so much that Spirit is really encouraging us to go exploring, because within all my past Starseed Origins readings that I had done this week and uploaded, that message just kept coming through. Explore, explore, explore. Do not be afraid to explore, and do not be afraid to bilocate, and messages with the Merkaba and the light body and learning how to work with these is going to be of the utmost importance for you guys, because ultimately, you are coexisting with spirit. Ultimately, you are coexisting with your higher beings of light. Ultimately, one is all of the same. And the more that we can explore and tap into our past, I don't even want to say past, because time is ultimately nothing. Like, time is something, but it's also nothing at the same time. We are tapping into memories of consciousness that we have either suppressed or oppressed, or have been told to suppress, or just deprogramming. And we're literally unveiling all this deep knowing, this deep consciousness, and so much is being opened up and provided to us. It's like the veil is lifting, right? 2020, clear seeing, clear knowing. I feel like all this consciousness coming through. I pick up so much on the collective, and I do feel like an overwhelming energy, because it's like all this consciousness coming through, and people are just like, what is happening? What are all these memories? What is this all about? And it's up to them to weave their own destiny, which means it's up to them to allow themselves to piece together the pieces of the puzzle and ultimately culminate this, all the perspectives and all the awareness. Yeah, so you are the creator of your destiny, and it's really asking you to get higher in tune with yourself and trust your deep knowing. So I feel like a lot of you aren't trusting your deep knowing, but it's important to. It's important to trust this, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you trust your own knowing, your own self? I mean, you have so many amazing deep knowings and wisdom within inside of you. And so it's really important for you to share these with others. We have share your wisdom with others and shine your light. So please do not be afraid to do this. Let go of programming. Let go of what others think and how others perceive, and really trust your own guidance system, and trust yourself, and trust where you're being led by the higher galactics, because there's a reason. If there's an inkling or something that you've been wanting to do, no matter how little or how large, there's a reason, and you're your guiding light. So follow that trust, follow that knowing. Yes, be courageous. I feel like a lot of you are timid about this. Be courageous. Truth conquers all. So be courageous, because truth really does conquer all things. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is like a whole new activation. I'm getting whole new activations coming in. When I tap in and I'm receiving downloads, this is what I'm getting. Whole new activations. This is like planetary alignments, cosmic alignments. This is frequency alignments. This is us connecting. This is us connecting with our light. All of us like connect. It's like a whole system of lights, ley lines, almost like connecting with one another. And we're teaching each other so much, whether we realize it or not. And so by sharing your frequency, by sharing your thoughts, by sharing your perspectives, just you holding that frequency will be enough for people to receive it in the way that they were meant to perceive it. Because even if they perceive it in a way that you weren't meaning for them to perceive it in that way, it's still going to unlock and open and help them access things within inside of themselves that they were always meant to have access to on their path. And everything happens so divinely that when you take yourself out of this awareness of being, I don't even know how to describe this right now, but it's like such a higher way of realizing that when you take your mind out of it and you just understand that everything has already happened and everything is happening the way that it always divinely was meant to, you can understand and really admire or really appreciate the fact that the reason that you're having these urgencies or longings to do something, to share your voice, is because it was always meant to be. And you have already done it in a sense. And you're just kind of watching it happen now. We have bring peace to troubled waters in the reverse. So I feel like we are understanding that so many things in this world are illusory. They're programs, they're illusions. And we have let peace prevail in the upright. So yeah, I feel like everything that's going on that's like troubling right now is we need to tap into that higher consciousness of where we perceive it to be more peaceful. Because when we perceive it to be more peaceful, we are allowing it to integrate. We are allowing it to flow like the water. We are allowing the downloads to occur. And we are allowing more peace to take place, because when we have more peace within ourselves, more peace within our thoughts, more peace within our perceptions, we are able to emanate that peace out more consciously or more accurately within our frequency. And so we're really letting the peace prevail right now. I wasn't sure how this reading was going to play out, but this is really cool. We have follow your heart on its side. So follow your heart. Don't ever guess that. Like when you're getting caught up, this is fairy love too. And the fairies have been coming through very, very strong recently. It's like almost like the insectoids and the fairies are working together, are messages that I'm getting. But when you follow your heart and you take it out of the mind and you go to your heart, that is like the strongest energy that you can emanate, that you can pass out, that you can emanate outwards. And yeah, they're just wanting you to really like tap in, receive the downloads that are of already your subconscious mind. You're just simply unlocking them, which is why you're receiving downloads. Wow, okay, let's see. Are there any other messages here? It's interesting. Okay, so this deck is the Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. And when they showed me art, they broke it down into 3 words for me to convey to you, and they said arriving right to. Arriving right to. Like arriving right to where you need to be, right to where you've always been. Interesting. I'm going to be making a video very shortly about how to increase your manifestations. I'm actually going to be making that soon. One thing I can suggest is really tapping into water, because water unlocks so many things. Water is a huge part of you, and I just feel like there's messages that need to be provided in the water to you. So lift the curse and forgive. This is so unlocking, you guys. Like, it's like the shadows have shown us so much knowledge, and the light has shown us so much knowledge. And wow. Okay, lifting the curse of war. And if you look at her, she's looking down at the earth, and it's like a map of the earth, and she's holding her hands over it, and she's if I'll have to show you, this is the earth. It's like a map of the earth. She has her hands over it, and she's sending out and emanating this ancient geometric consciousness that she's perceiving into her third eye awareness, and then emanating out through her hands. We're like healing the earth. And this has been a message that's been coming through so much recently, because there's just been different tools and different things that have been re-remembered within my consciousness of how to go about healing the earth, how to go about doing things. And it's all being reactivated. It's being re-remembered. It's like these ancient symbols and these ancient knowings are like awakening and teaching us how to redo what we've already done in a better, lighter way, and a way to heal. And lifting the curse of war is like lifting the curse of duality. And if you watched my previous video where I'm talking about Hydra and the bee sting and everything, it's like that's ultimately what we're doing. We're like anchoring in the light and we're releasing our shadows, but we're culminating them into one consciousness being and allowing it to just be unified. And so there's no more war, there's no more duality. It's just new earth. It's the higher consciousness of the earth. It's the higher consciousness of us. And we're learning how to access our healing abilities, and we're lifting the curse. So by staying in a low consciousness mindset of feeling like everything is against us, or feeling like we're at war with each other, at war with the world, when we can tap into our deep knowing of that of which feels right, because that of which is bliss is the higher dimensional bliss, that of which we came from, which why it resonates and feels so good, is because we're tapping into this and we're learning how to tap into that perspective rather than the lower perspective, rather than the lower consciousness perspectives. We're able to now tap into higher ones. We always were, we have been throughout this, but we're learning, we're reawakening, we're re-remembering how to do this more and more, and we're activating. We are the Arcturians. We have the heart horse here, which means Arcturian energy is like really, really strong here. But ultimately, all the beings are working with us. And they're literally showing us like ancient geometries and ancient talismans and ancient knowings and recollections, so we can remember how to access these symbols, access these relics, access these ruins, because ruins is another message that's been coming through so much recently. We can access these energies and we can emanate them down on the earth and activate the earth and channel in how we know, how we're remembering how to channel. It's like we have this list in our mind of directions on how to do this, but we've forgotten it. But the more that we practice it, the more we activate and the more we open up, the new doors open. We've stepped over the threshold. We know how to climb this ladder into this new doorway and shine it down and heal it. We're just remembering a lot, and we're literally lifting out. The light is lifting out the darkness and then shining the light down. It's like this like simultaneous like wave is what I'm feeling. And I've been kind of doing this unconsciously. Like when I go outside, I just naturally send out light just around the globe and allow it to recycle through and emanate out and recycle through. And then when I'm done, like I take a shower, I connect with the water, I cleanse my aura, I allow the downloads to come through, I allow the information to come through. And we're literally remembering how to do all of this. And I've made so many amazing friendships this year, like so many amazing friendships. I've culminated so many loyal soul family members into my existence, and they've been provided to me at the perfect times throughout my life, always. And just this past year, I've made so many meaningful relationships with people and really connected, and I feel like our perspectives are just opening more. We're not being as critical anymore. We're really allowing different perspectives to flow into our consciousness, so that way we can develop more and then share more of our perspectives out and just let them culminate together, because we really are all the pieces of the puzzle, and we're really coming together and learning how to do these things, how to remember these things, how to access these things. And so I don't know what, but my selenite wand wants to sit right here while I'm doing this, so I'm just gonna allow that to happen. But color frequency has been huge coming through the ruins. Like, I don't know if you guys have been bilocating to ruins, but I went to Death Valley while channeling in the sun. They took me and I was at the bottom, and there were these huge like mountain spiky things, and I didn't know where I was, but I just figured that's where I needed to be. That's where the sun wanted me to go. And I have spontaneous bilocation experiences like this, but we're all different. So it's fun to share perspectives, and it's also fun to receive others' perspectives. But while I was there, it looked so familiar, but I didn't know what it was. I ended up Googling, like I didn't Google. I went to my Instagram, and there's like a geology, some sort of page that I wouldn't say subscribe to, but that I visit, and it popped up on my Instagram and it showed Death Valley, and I was like, holy cow. If that's not a synchronicity, I don't know what is, because that's literally what I just viewed, and that's where I just went when I bilocated, and I was wondering what the heck this place was. I don't know if it was the same day or like a couple days later, just right around that time, and it was such a huge synchronicity. And then I started doing research about it, and I might do a video on that soon, but ever since then, I've been just receiving so many messages about ruins. Like, you have to look to the ruins, you have to receive the messages from the ruins. There's messages there, and there's a reason why. I've always been so attuned to ancient ruins. Like, when me and my family went to Arizona, there was like all these like older Indian ruins that we drove by, castles, all kinds of things, and I was so drawn to each and every one of them. Like, I was like begging my mom and dad to stop at each one because I wanted to go into them and like receive the energies, but like not really understanding why. At the same time, I just really wanted to go and like receive the energies. I don't know how else to say it. And yeah, it's like the more we tap into these ruins and these ancient places, like you guys know me in Lemuria, like I've been tapping in so much there, because ultimately I believe that's where humanity started. I believe that's our ultimate creation story. And there's just been so much coming through. Working with the waters, as I'm talking about Lemuria, it says guard and protect the sacred waters of life. This is Benedicta Viriditas, the blessed green, the emerald order, the heart chakra color therapy. Guard and protect the sacred waters of life. And it's interesting because so many messages about this have been coming through, and it's literally fallen right under the bring peace to troubled waters. So bring peace to our emotions. Bring the culmination of peace into every single emotion, because that will help tremendously. And there's sacred things within inside of us, and they are protected, they are guarded. There's certain things within inside of us that are going to be unlocked, and we may not be ready to handle all of it as a message that I'm getting, but it'll be very, very important. It'll be a heart knowing, a heart frequency, a heart unlock, and a whole body. So just know that this is coming in. This is something that it's interesting. It's like you're not expecting it, but at the same time you have this deep knowing that it's already occurred. But it's a culmination of all these different perspectives, and we're learning how to piece them all together. The sacred waters of Lemuria. Protect the ancient knowledge. Don't let it be distorted like it has been. Messages. Wow. There's a reason why I've been so drawn to it. There's been a reason why I've been researching it left and right, back and forth, day and night. Like, there's a reason that the Polynesian creation story was ultimately destroyed to begin with. There's a reason why the queen was dethroned and they weren't allowed to speak the native Hawaiian language, to not allow it to be passed on to their children, because the stories are passed on through children. They're the history, the knowledge, the frequency, the everything. And it was literally abruptly stopped because of humanity. But if we take on the bigger perspective, again, like I said at the beginning, we're unlocking all this conscious awareness. We're literally diving into this, which we may have never done before unless this had happened. So everything does happen divinely. There's a reason that we're tapping into it now. There's a reason that so many of you connect to what had happened in Lemuria, the catastrophe, the catastrophic Holocaust, the event, the ultimate destruction. And there's a reason that we connect back so deeply to it. It's a deep knowing. It's a deep consciousness awareness, and we're unlocking it, we're remembering. And I feel like the more that we research and the more that we learn and the more that we tap in and trust our own knowing from our own remembering of having lived through this already, there's just so much being shared, awakened, and remembered. We have retreat into nature. Nature in and of itself gives you so much remembrance, gives you so much knowledge, and I feel like that'll be really important for everyone to really connect into nature. Solitude. So really being quiet with yourself and allowing the downloads and the messages to be received, because this is of the utmost importance. Embody ancient wisdom, and I can't make this up. And this is Merlin awaits, and if you look, he's got the green light there, the higher consciousness, that's the Merkaba. If you look, the light body up on the pedestal, the monk sitting in front of it, the castle in the background. He's wearing the Merkaba on his chest, you guys. He's holding the blue flame in the left hand, the amethyst in the right. He's activated, and he's literally has the cosmos in his robe. He is connected. He is activated. He is awakening. He is embodying this ancient wisdom. And the reason this is so important is because it's actually a culmination of what we're going into in our future. And there's a reason that we're connecting back to the stars now. There's a reason that we're re-remembering. There's a reason that we are drawn to history or herstory. There's a reason that we are drawn to these ancient sites and these ancient places and trying to piece together what they mean and reactivate and re-remember. And if we just sit in quiet and we allow the messages to come through, so much more will be remembered. So much more will be unlocked. And tapping into our inner waters, our own like inner grail, our own cup of water, so much will be re-emerging and shown to us. And I really truly believe this. And I feel like the more of us that can share our knowledge and our wisdom and what we've learned, so much more will be provided and unlocked and will light the way for all of us. Okay, let's see. Be open. They want you to be open. Remain an open mind. Remain an open heart. Look through the mist. Find the mystery. And if you watched my last video, how I talked about the pure white angel of light and the shadow aspect of the angel and how they merge together, combined into one consciousness, one being, and then transmuted into a mist. And we have a look through the mist, the veil. Find the mystery. This is also interesting because I watched a Lemurian ancient song that was channeled by a beautiful being. I'll list her name down below in the video, probably in the comments, so you guys can check it out too. But while I was listening and closing my eyes and just retreating into solitude, I saw what was the water, like the oceans, the water of Lemuria, and a huge eye opening. And then it showed me how I used to be. I was water in and of itself. And I would literally help ships of men like move to shore out of storms. I would calm things down. I would show the way, guide the way, light the way. Like I was literally, my hands were water, my hands were waves, and I would help tons of ships of people onto the shore and out of harm's way. And it was so eye-opening and activating, and I knew it to be true. I knew it to be true. It's actually something that's been told to me so many times before, and I never acknowledged it. I never really had that aha moment until I had the remembrance for myself, which is why it's so important to remember these things for yourself so then you can connect back in. But it is important to have everyone else help connect for you as well, so you can take all the perspectives and then have the aha moment and then connect it all back in, because it's all a piece of the puzzle, guys. We're remembering the magnificence that we are, the magnificence that we've always been. And we're having these deep remembrances, and we're looking through the mysteries, through the mist, through the veil. We're looking deeper because we have this deeper knowing. We just have this deeper knowing within us, and that's why we feel so strongly to keep searching, to keep looking. But the more that we get tied up in the lower frequencies, if we just sit in nature and allow the silence to give us everything that we need, then we already have it. Because we do already have it, and it's helping us to unlock it for ourselves. So that does complete the reading. There's so much coming through here. There's so much more I could go on about, but I am going to end the reading there. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your perspectives, your thoughts, your comments, definitely consider subscribing, giving this a like, hit that bell so you can still receive messages that are coming through at this time. I feel like this is a really important time. Every time is an important time, but I feel like there's specific frequencies and portals being unlocked at this time, and I'm here to share my knowledge and share my wisdom and share what is coming through for me in order to help you, and vice versa. We're all connected and it's important to share. So if you have any comments or any thoughts or any questions, anything at all, please leave it down in the comments below, and I will definitely take a look. I'll respond back. We can share each other's perspectives, connect the dots some more, and just access this amazing door that's being opened to a higher level of consciousness and be able to integrate it and understand it better for all of us. So I love you so incredibly much, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos to come. I'm gonna try to stay more consistent on here and upload even more content, and as I receive the downloads, I will be sharing what comes through. I love you so incredibly much, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.